Inspire with Nendrix, the foundation.
Hey, Embrace and Arms community. This is Dr. Danielle Harrison, and I'm coming back to you with a 5-minute quickie for your best life. And I want to talk to you a little bit about setting goals, and not just setting goals, but really setting in particular. So I want to talk about a goal that I set for myself, and that is my physical wellness. I have been a Zumba instructor for a long time, and about 2 years ago, I sprained both my ankles terribly in a bad fall, and my ankles have not recovered since. And knowing that in Zumba, if you've ever participated in Zumba, you know that you need your full rotation of your body, your ankles, your limbs, all of that stuff in order for you to be effective as an instructor. And I was not able to do that at all. And so as a result, I could not be recertified, and, backed out of the work that I was doing with Zumba. Of course, Zumba Incorporated, offered you different options, so that you won't lose your certification. And I just was kind of in my feelings about not being able to do it. And so I didn't even take any of the options. So when I'm ready to kind of get back into doing Zumba, I have to go through the entire certification all over again, but whatever. But since then, I have not been as physically active as I would normally be, because of my Zumba work, and just because of having that energy to get up and get into the gym and do my classes and all of those things. And so, of course, when that happens, you just kind of start gaining weight. And on top of that, a month later, in fact, just a few weeks before the injury, we were hit with COVID. And so not only was I not doing my Zumba instruction, but I was like working from home, and so there lies more problems. And so here we are, fast forward 2 years later, and I made a commitment for myself without giving a particular deadline to accomplish it, that I would be more intentional about my overall physical health. Just be more intentional about it. Sometimes we, set unrealistic goals. I want to lose 60 pounds by March, and it's February the 1st, right? So I didn't want to do that to myself, because I didn't want to be intimidated by my own goal, and I wanted to be able to accomplish it. And so what I promised myself is that I would be more intentional about my own physical wellness, whatever that means, getting up earlier, doing more meditation, walking around, my developments, parking further away from the door, the grocery store, walking the perimeter of the grocery store completely before I start shopping, getting back into the gym, whatever that meant. I needed to, make that commitment to myself to be intentional about my physical health. But I want to just stop by to tell you that listen, your goals are your goals. You can't worry about anybody else's goals. You can't worry about setting your goals based on what you're seeing on social media, what you see, the results of someone else, someone else's body, someone else's, accomplishments. You can't do that, because when that someone else failed to live up to your expectation of physical health, then your motivation will decline. If all of a sudden the person who you were so excited about being motivated by, because they lost all of this weight, decides that they're going to just gain some weight, or they're just going to stop working out, and they unintentionally gain weight, that might throw you off a little bit, because you're putting so much energy on what other people are doing, or you may be so intimidated by their process that you felt like you can never do that, you could never amount to that, you could never, so then you don't set any realistic goals for yourself. You have to pace yourself in the way that works best for you. It is not easy getting up every morning, going to the gym. It's just not easy, and it's not going to whatever problems you packed on your hips and your belly, and your arms, over the 30, 40 years that you've been alive, 20 years that you've been alive, it's not going to go away just because you hit the gym this week. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, a lot of intentionality, a lot of consistency. But you have to pace yourself, and you have to compete with only yourself, and not worry about what other people are doing and how they're doing and how they're achieving it. You don't know what their journey is. You don't know how they're making these things happen, and you don't want to set yourself up for a situation where they disappoint you, and then all of a sudden your whole plan is out the window. Rather, maybe this is your workout partner, and your workout partner is not showing up on time, and so now your whole plan is out the window because they have not shown up, for you, or you're just so focused on someone else's journey and their weight loss and you want to kind of mimic that, and you just can't keep up with it. So what is it that you can do, and how can you pace yourself, and how can you make a commitment to yourself? Because if you can't make a commitment to yourself, you can't make a commitment to anything else. That I firmly believe that if you cannot commit to you, you can't commit to anything else. So commit to yourself that you will be more intentional about your physical health, period. End of sentence. And whatever that means to you, stick to it and be consistent, period. All right, that's my 5-minute quickie for you. Go out in the community and embrace someone. They're waiting for you, and continue to live your absolute best life.
We're chillin', having our fun. Come spend the weekend with us in our house.